Everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Ashley, and in today's video I'm going to be filming a Q&A. So I did ask you guys some questions on my community tab. I didn't ask you questions, I told you to ask me questions on my community tab, and you guys did. Quickly, I'm outside, the sun is right there, it's coming in and out of the trees, so I might be overexposed, like too bright, and then it's gonna get dark. Just letting you guys know because I gotta get this video filmed and the sun's playing me today. So just letting you guys know that. So the first question that I have is from Latoya, and her question is, for home daycare owners who are just starting out, what are some good ways to promote your daycare so you can get children? So you're gonna just have to advertise, and what I did when I first started daycare compared to like what I do now is completely different. When I first started my daycare, I used care.com, which I would not recommend nowadays because it's full of scams. And then I used to do poster boards in my neighborhood. That might work for you. It doesn't work for me anymore because the actual bulletin boards that used to be displayed in my neighborhood, they were torn down. So there's nowhere to actually advertise like in my neighborhood. But I would like to do neighborhood because if you think about it, people in your neighborhood, they're gonna find it really convenient that you live in their neighborhood and they can just drop off their kid to you. But now, Facebook. Every single child that is in my program is either word of mouth or Facebook, but Facebook majority, like all of the kids are from Facebook right now. There's only one that was word of mouth. I do also have a wait list from Facebook. Like literally everybody that I have that is either in or wanting to be in my program is Facebook. So there are a lot of mommy groups on Facebook and a lot of county groups. So for example, if you live in Broward County, there's like Broward County Moms or Broward County Reviews. You should search those on Facebook and join them and advertise there if it's allowed, because some groups allow you to advertise. Find ones that let you advertise. Take really good pictures of your daycare, like clean it up, organize it, make it look really neat and put together. Take some pictures and then you're going to advertise. So I just filmed a video about what I include when I advertise my daycare. I'll have that video linked above. You guys can check that one out. But I would put all of that information that's on that advertising video along with some good pictures and advertise there, and then join a lot of mom groups because there's always somebody looking for daycare. So that's how I personally get children in my program. So I hope that answers your question. Again, Latoya did ask, if you're going on field trips, do you think it is best for children that under the age of 2 have a chaperone with them? So I don't do field trips, so I can't really answer this question for you. But if you are a daycare provider and you guys do field trips, leave maybe like a suggestion down below. But I just know that when I go out with my sons, Anthony and Lucas, if you guys didn't know, I am a mom of 2. When I go out with them, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to keep them under control. I can't imagine going out with all of my daycare kids in public. I just feel like it would be a little bit too much for me. So I don't do field trips. Next question is also from Latoya, and she asks, what are some good activities and lessons to do with children that are under the age of 2? So with children under the age of 2 academically, I like to focus on colors and shapes. I feel like those are the two that I like to start with because they're kind of sort of the easiest for them, and a lot of vocabulary cards. So when Toys R Us was up, they sold a lot of these first word cards, and they had pictures with words like tree, ball, cup, chair. Those I like to go over with them because you want them to develop their language, and a lot of times children under 2 don't have that big of a vocabulary, so I really like to build that vocabulary. So education wise, lots of word cards and vocabulary. I like to do shapes and colors, and then like a lot of gross motor, obviously, a lot of indoor play so that they can go ahead and start learning how to communicate with other children their age or older than them. Just those kind of activities I would do. Puzzles they really do like to do too. So those are the kind of the things that I would do with children that are under the age of 2. So the next question is from Lindsay Ann, and she asks, I am currently expecting my first child. I've been doing daycare for 1.5 years. Any advice on how to balance your own children and the daycare? At first, I'm sure it would be easier having my own infant, but as he gets older, I don't want him to feel like he's always having to share his mom, which is inevitable, I suppose. But do you do certain things with your kids throughout the day to have that special mommy time during all the chaos? So I personally haven't ever had a hard time with getting my children not be jealous, if that makes sense. I feel like the affection that I show the daycare kids and the affection that I show my kids is a lot different. So I'm not gonna sit there and kiss a daycare kid on the cheek for like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Because that's not my kid. The most affection that I give daycare kids is I'll sit them on my lap, we'll sing a song, we'll clap our hands, I'll give them a hug, and that's it. That's like the most. But my son, Anthony and Lucas, they know that I'm very affectionate with them. I'm always giving them kisses, I'm always hugging them, and I feel like that affection is only to them, so they don't get jealous, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm sorry if that didn't really help you, but I just never had that problem with getting my kid not to be jealous of like a daycare kid, if that makes any sense. Now, as far as anything that I do to have like a little bit mommy time with my son, I do. So I have 2 kids. Anthony is 6 and Lucas is 2. Anthony is in school throughout the day, and then when he gets home, I have like 2 hours of daycare left, and then after that, I'm his. So I don't really have to do too much bonding with him because daycare's almost closed. But with Lucas, I do keep him up 30 to 45 minutes after I put everybody else asleep. So nap time in my house is at 12:15. After everybody is asleep, I'll keep Lucas till like 12:45, 1 o'clock awake with me, and I just spend time with him. So it's hard throughout the day, like when all of the kids are awake, especially if you don't have a structured daycare program, like where you have like a routine. It's hard to throughout the day take time to just give your kid that mommy one-on-one time because it does get chaotic. You have a lot of things that you have to do. So the best time that it's easiest for me is when everybody is asleep, and then we give Lucas time. So we'll either play a game with him, we'll play some cars or like motorcycles with him, and then we'll keep him up a little bit longer. He has that time with us, and then we put him to nap. So that's kind of something that I do, and that might be something you can do. Again, you're gonna have an infant, so it might be a little bit different, but when they're older, I think that that's a really good thing that you can do to give your kid a little bit more one-on-one time. So the next question is from Kayla, and she says, what is the reason that you run an in-home daycare instead of working in a facility? P.S. I love your channel. I don't know if you mean like working in a facility, like owning a facility, or working in a facility like an employee. So first off, employees at facilities, from what I know, they get underpaid and they have a lot of responsibility. And I personally, if I had a facility, I wouldn't pay my employees minimum wage. Now, I know that that's probably something that I would probably be obligated to do because of, you know, income. So you're gonna have to start my minimum wage. But I feel like they deserve so much more than that. And I would never work at a facility as an employee. I don't want to say never. I don't know what God has planned for me. If you guys own an in-home daycare, I know you guys know where I'm coming from. Now, if you meant like an owner as a daycare, like why don't I have a facility? I can't do that. I cannot do that. Now, I think I can, but I would not want to. So I feel like it's really hard when you're an owner to have 12 employees and you got to keep all of them in line. You have to have all of them meeting your expectations. Let's say you have 12 employees and one of them does something outrageous or whatever the case is, the reputation of your facility goes down. You know what I mean? Versus my home, I'm in charge of everything. I'm in more control and I don't have to worry about anything. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like there's just so much more when it comes to owning a facility. I think I might be wrong, but I personally, I don't know. I'm happy with my home daycare. The next question is from Glamorous Prariva. Sorry if I'm butchering that. And she says, how do you deal with toddlers who love to explore and have a lot of energy? Currently watching toddlers and they love to climb on furniture, tables, chairs, and so on. I constantly tell them it is not okay. It's not safe. It works for a bit and then it starts all up again within a few minutes and hours. So what I would do if I had that problem in my daycare, I would try to adjust my setting. So if there's a table and I feel the kids are either climbing on it, is there a way for you to move the table out of the room or get it to not be within their access? I've had before like running toys, like a lawnmower. It's actually out here somewhere. I had a lawnmower and the kids kept running in the daycare, like back and forth and back and forth. Any toys that like promote running, I took them out. And the reason why I took them out is because they can't be doing that inside. They didn't want to listen to me, so I put them outside. And now when we have outdoor play, they can run with the lawnmower. So just either readjusting the setting, removing toys, adding toys. That's probably what I would do. So I have another question. I'm going to include her name here because I feel like I'm going to butcher it. And she says, is it worth becoming licensed? Do parents prefer that? And thank you. I hope your holiday was a lovely one with your family. Thank you. So I don't think parents prefer registered daycares over licensed daycares. I've never had a problem with getting people enrolled into my program with just being registered. Now, when it comes to being licensed, this is, in my opinion, as a home daycare provider, and I know that you guys might be able to relate. I know that there are a lot of licensed providers that I know that want to become registered. So if license is up here and registered is down here, they want to step down. Now, I told you guys lots of times in my videos that my home sometimes feels like a business. Now, when you are licensed in my area, it's gonna feel really overwhelming. I'm gonna need to put up a bunch of baby gates in my house, you know, if I'm, you know, licensed. I would have to do so many changes to my house, and I feel like it's not only going to be restricting me as an owner in my house, but the kids are also restricted. So for example, when I have a baby that is like 1.5, 2 years old, already walking and understanding things, I like to teach them to throw things away. So if they have pee-pee, I'll change the diaper, I'll give them the diaper. It's like, okay, let's go throw diaper away, and they'll go with me. If I was licensed, I'd get in trouble for that. Kids cannot have access to the trash can. So it's like there are a lot of things that the kids are gonna not be able to do with me if I was licensed that they can do when I'm registered. And I feel like it's just too many restrictions. There's a lot of paperwork, and I just feel like right now I'm comfortable where I'm at. I've never had any problems getting children enrolled in my program at all, just being registered. I don't even know if parents know that there are tiers to it. Some do, some don't. But I just personally think that, I don't know if it's worth it because, again, I'm not licensed. It might be worth it for you, you know, whatever. But I don't personally think that parents prefer that. So the next question is from Sabrina, and her question is, what are some things you do for self-care when you feel burnt out as a mama and as a home daycare provider? So I have a video on my channel and I address provider burnout. You guys can watch that. But when it comes to like self-care, I take one night every week and I wax my eyebrows, I blow dry my hair, I take time to myself because I feel like it's important to take care of yourself to be able to give to others. So I just do a lot of self-care on the weekends, and on Friday nights normally is like what I do. Well, Friday is like my cleaning day, so I get my house together, and then on Saturday and Sunday I can focus on me and my family. So that's kind of what I do. But again, check out the provider burnout video because it's going to help you a lot with that question as well. Christian Morgan asks or says, I'm in the process of getting my in-home daycare started and I'm having some difficulty getting my daily schedule right. When would you suggest a good nap time be, and about how long should naps last? Love your videos. They are so helpful in my journey. Thank you so much for posting them. You're welcome. So when it comes to selecting a good nap time, you don't want to have it too early in the morning, and you don't want to have it too late in the afternoon. So you don't want to have it too early in the morning because, again, the kids are rested from their night sleep. And if you do it early in the morning, they're not going to want to go to sleep because it's too early and they're still rested. And then you don't want to do it too late in your day because the later you do it, it's going to affect the parents when they get home and they have to put them to bed. So right dab in the middle, mine is at 12:15, and I do not accept children in my program after 9:30 in the morning. 9:30 in the morning, don't ring my doorbell because it's one of those things, if you guys watched my nap time video, it throws everything off. So even in public schools, you can't go at 12 o'clock and drop off your kid. You can't go at 11:30 and drop off your kid. Like, there is a time where there's like a cutoff. So I have that for my daycare. 9:30 in the morning is the latest that you can bring your kid. After that, they just can't come for the day. So I explained that prior to parents enrolling in my program so that there are no surprises. They already know before they enroll their child that, like, that's what it is. You can't come after 9:30 in the morning because it's gonna throw everything off. So the next question is from Melissa, and she says, what do you have to go through in Florida to get licensed, and what would you do and not do differently? I would love to one day live in Florida, and I would like to keep doing family daycare, currently living in the state of Maryland. So the Department of Children and Families is what it's called in Florida. I know that in different states it's called different things, like CPS I think is in New York. But in Florida, it's the Department of Children and Families. If you go to their website, they have like literally a checklist. Now, I'm not licensed, I'm registered, so I don't know exactly what you gotta do to be licensed. I think it's pretty similar to becoming registered, honestly. I think that there's just an extra course that you guys have to take, I think it is. Not quite sure, but I would just check with them. If you want, you can DM me and then I can send you an exact link to their website. And then I can also send you maybe a screenshot of, sorry, I'm out of breath. Or I can send you a screenshot of like the checklist if you guys get what I'm saying. So the next question is by Take It Day by Day. And she says, how do you deal with toddlers that don't like to take naps or fight naps? So again, I have a nap time video on my channel. I would go ahead and tell you guys to check that video out. If they don't like to take naps, you really just have to understand what the root of that is. Like, what's going on? Why don't they want to take naps? Is it because they got here at 11:30 in the morning? Like, mom and dad dropped off at 11:30 and nap time's at 12:15. Did they not have a good breakfast? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different reasons why kids don't want to take naps. You got to figure it out. If they're just being stubborn and they don't want to take a nap, in my nap time video, told you guys that I always give children 30 minutes. So what I do is I lay everybody down, and even the child that is wanting to fight, I'll lay them down, I'll pat their back, we read our story, we cover them with a blanket, everything's quiet for 30 minutes minimum. I'm sitting there with them for 30 minutes, and 90% of the time, they fall asleep because they're tired. They're just being stubborn and they don't want to take it. So some parents think, oh, my kid doesn't want to take naps. They don't need naps. They need naps. Trust me, they do. Next questions are from Carolina, and she says, what is your main motivation to open a daycare? Tell us your story and how you came to that idea that is now a reality. So I'm going to answer them as I go. So that was her first question. And my motivation to open an in-home daycare, so I love being with my kids. If you guys know me, they go everywhere with me and my husband, no matter what. I don't drop them off with my mom. I don't drop them off with my sister. My sister actually lives walking distance from me. I don't take them there. Not anything bad. It's just I love being with my kids. Now, I had a lot of like separation anxiety when I took Anthony to daycare. And there was a lot of things that were happening at the daycare, like the facility, that I really didn't like. So the first one is Anthony was sent home with the wrong pacifier. So when my husband picked him up from daycare, he took a picture of it and he was like, hey babe, is this Anthony's? I said no. So I contacted the owner and I let her know, like, hey, because I knew the owner. I was like, hey, this was a pacifier that was sent home with Anthony. And she was like, oh yeah, you forgot to send Anthony with one. So we had a brand new one at the daycare. We opened it and we gave it to him. Now, if that was happened in my program, and it just happened like last week or 2 weeks ago, I messaged mom. I was like, hey, baby doesn't have pacifier. Baby needs pacifier. Dad came and dropped off one. Like, let's say I did have a spare, because she did ask me if I had a spare, the parent, when this happened. She asked me and I said no, but if I did, I would always message the parents like, hey, look, baby didn't have a pacifier. I do have one here. Do you mind if I use it? It's brand new. It's in the package. I'll take a picture of it. Like, I would just make them feel really secure with my decision. I wouldn't just do it and expect them to either not notice or be okay with it. I don't know. I just was like, oh my God, like, they should have told me. And again, I'm a first-time mom. Anthony was my first kid, so I freaked out. And then the second one was when Felix picked up Anthony out of the car seat, there were blocks like in the bottom of his car seat. Now, Anthony was like 6 weeks old, and it just got me so upset because I was like, and now as the owner, I'm like, how the heck didn't they see that? Or did it when they put him in the car seat or whatever? So I was like, what the heck? I was getting really annoyed with little things like that. So I just took him out and I started my in-home daycare quick. We bought a house and I just opened up a daycare. So that's like my story. So the second question she says is there a requirement in the United States like having previous studies to have a daycare? No, there are courses that you have to take to become an in-home daycare. You just need to make sure that there's nothing on your background that's gonna like restrict you or anything like that. But when it comes to like education, no. All you need to do is take courses through DCF and you can go ahead and do that. So the next question is from Shia. And she says, do you purchase a curriculum or plan your own? Are they necessary for a small group? Maybe 6 children or less? What sets your daycare apart from other home daycares in your area? What tips do you have for making your daycare unique so that parents want to enroll? So when it comes to curriculum, I do not purchase a curriculum. And the reason why I don't is because kids come and go. A customized plan for each child is better. So for example, I have 2 kids. They're both around the same age. One is a little bit more advanced than the other. So I customize a plan for her, and what I can teach the one that's a little bit more advanced, I can't teach the younger one just yet. So I customize everything. I make my own tracing sheets. If you guys watch like my fine motor activity video that I did on my channel, you guys will see that I customize everything for them and they learn really well. So I wouldn't purchase a curriculum. I'm not saying that it's bad, but again, you can have a kid that enrolls right now and then in like 3 weeks they move, or in like 3 weeks something happens. So like I just don't purchase a curriculum. I just make my own. Now when it comes to what sets my daycare apart from other daycares in my area, I actually called other in-home daycares recently because I was adjusting my rates, and none of them offer meals. None of them. So I have a daycare that's literally like around the corner from me. That's a home daycare. She doesn't offer meals. she charges way more than me, and even way more than what I just readjusted my rates to be, and she doesn't provide meals. So I noticed that a lot of home daycares didn't provide meals, and I can say that that sets my daycare apart. I've never actually physically visited a daycare, like home daycare in my area, so I can say, oh, I have more toys or I have less toys. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you guys like on a visual level, but I know that my rates are a lot cheaper. And how do I explain it? What was it? I just said it. My rates are a lot cheaper. Oh, and I provide meals. So that there might be something else that sets me apart, but again, I don't know what it is because I don't visit other home daycares like that to be able to compare myself to them. So the next question is from Shanara Jones, and she says, are you an LLC, and what do you use for protection and why? Yes, I am an LLC. We have insurance for the daycare for our protection, but I also do a lot of other things for my protection. Like I keep a lot of documents. I keep every single text message that I have with parents, past and present. I keep them, I have them, I keep them saved. And I feel like just taking that step offers like a lot of protection. Sign in and out sheets. I have physical sheets. I don't have like touch check-in systems. I rather have like physical stuff, and I'm a very physical person when it comes to like documents and stuff like that. So I keep a lot of things like on my end to help be protected, if that makes any sense. But I also have insurance. So yeah. So then the last set of questions is from Sarah. And it says, hey, love your channel. Thank you. And then she says, how to organize important daycare papers. So I'll just answer them as I go. So how I organize important daycare papers, I have a binder, and there are, tabs. If you guys watched my sign-in video, the binder video, every child has a tab. I have that in my actual daycare binder. It's a bigger binder. I have tabs. Every child has their own tab, and in that tab I have their application, I have their shot record, I have their physical, I have all of their sign in and out sheets from when they first start all the way till now. I have their doctor's notes, like when they bring them in, I hole punch them and I keep them in there. Injury reports, anything that I have for that child is in their folder, in their thing. And then when they unenroll, I empty out their tab and I take it, I clip everything together, and I have a box that I keep it in. I still, to this day, have all of the applications from when I first started. And the only reason why I have them is because the box is this big and it's still not full. So maybe when it gets full, I'll start throwing things away, but I love to keep all of my stuff. I feel secure with it. I actually had a parent that needed something from me from the year 2016, and I had it for her. So just because they unenrolled doesn't mean I shred their stuff and that's it. So just letting you guys know that. So it says how to save daycare receipts from parents and also for supplies. So daycare receipts from parents, if you guys have not noticed, I've shown it in a couple of videos. I get from Sam's Club these receipt books, and it basically has like the receipt, and when you write it, it bleeds to the back, if that makes sense. So it has like a yellow copy. So I keep the yellow copy, I give them the white copy. They do as they please with their receipts. And then I keep the actual book for the years to come. I'll show it in a different video, but that's what I do. I don't have like a whole bunch of receipts like scattered everywhere. It's a book that the receipt book is. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's just way more organized for me. So that's how I keep receipts from parents. And then for supplies, I just categorize all my receipts. I have a spreadsheet in my computer. I import them to my computer and it adds everything up for me automatically. I'm gonna be doing a video on that. I'm really behind on my videos, but I'm gonna be doing a video on that shortly. And then how to deal with parents paying on time. So you need to be, again, firm with your policies. This is something that you're gonna wanna make sure that you are firm with from day one. When you're not firm with your policies and payment, that's when they start to get too comfortable. So I never let a parent drop off their kid if they owe me more than a week. When I first started my daycare, again, I had a parent that was really close to me and she took advantage of that. She owed me a month and some change of tuition. And now that I look back at that, I was like, oh my God, I should have just stopped taking care of her kid after she owed me a week. And it sounds bad because it's like the kid is the one that has to suffer, but I feel like as a parent, they have responsibilities and they need to take care of what they need to take care of. Just letting you know, I don't accept kids if they owe me more than a week. And if they're not paying on time, the parents aren't paying on time, I would sit down, I would have a conversation with them, see if there's something that we can do to get them to be paying on time. And if it's something that you guys can come to an agreement with, good. If it's not, turn. Next question, how to deal with children that act out when parents arrive for pickup, and even when children and parents linger around when they are your last child at daycare every day. So I actually have a video on my channel on how to make pickup a lot easier. You can go ahead and watch that. When it comes to parents lingering, I had a parent that used to linger all the time. She wanted to tell me about everything that happened, but what I would do is I would just continue my day. So she would come, sign the child out. The child is basically ready to leave, and I would just clean the daycare tables, I would clean the chairs, I would start organizing, and she started to get the idea like, oh, she has things she has to do, let me leave. And then it stopped really quickly. But I would just say, go ahead and start doing things, make it look like you're busy so that they can get the idea, okay, I gotta go. But in reality, it's like we do have a lot of things that we have to do, so we can't just, sit there and talk. So she would just be talking by the front door, and I would like be cleaning, and then after a while she'd be like, okay, I'll see you later. And then it just stopped. Like she just stopped like lingering. So I know it's hard. I had a friend that had an in-home daycare, and she said that dad would pick up the kid. He would go in the kitchen and open the microwave to see what they were having for dinner, and he would eat their dinner. Can you believe that? Like, that's crazy. So that is the last question. I've been talking for like 30 minutes. But that's the last question for the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I answered every single question that I had. If you asked a question after today, I'm sorry. I will write you back. But that basically completes today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Thank you guys so much for asking questions. Please subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. And I will see you guys in my next video.